No, that's fine. Hi, everyone. Oh, my voice is really going now. Um, okay, we're going to start with a very loud, very raucous, very enthusiastic round of applause to get everybody into the room and to demonstrate our excitement. Yeah. It's happening. It's all happening here. This is where you want to be. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Can we also get the timer because I can see us getting carried away?
Oh yeah, definitely. We're not going to stay on track
All right.
without some parents in the room.
Yes. So this is the town hall that I have been waiting for all these 2 days. I just wanted to actually lay down some ground rules before we get started, because I really want this to feel like a town hall. I want it to feel like we are all part of one community that is brainstorming together on the future of the new harvest. So the real ground rules are we're going to have a couple runners with microphones. So if you do want to stand up, add something, say a comment, make a donation, whatever, please just put your hand up and someone will bring a microphone to you. So we're going to try and keep it live here in the room. And then if you are online, I'm trying to look into the camera. If you're tuning in on the live stream, please participate over Slido. The people in the room can participate over Slido too, but in order to increase signal and reduce noise, we're not allowing any anonymity on Slido. So you got to put your first name and last name. So if you say, I want to give $5, we can go and get that $5. And if you have any great ideas or want to jam on a collaboration or a grant that we can apply for together or something like that, we can follow up. So no anonymity. We're all friends here. Please put your name so we can follow up.
Yes, please do.
Yes. Where to begin? I guess I want to begin with why are we here? So everyone, maybe an elephant in the room, everyone been buzzing around about like, oh my gosh, New Harvest has to keep living. We need to figure it out. So how did this all happen? So 3 years ago, we received a really, really amazing donation that I was able to collect while pregnant. It was actually the last trip I took on an airplane while pregnant, from some incredible donors named Avina who are listening in and very present in the room today. And they gave us a 3-year commitment, escalating over 3 years, because they saw the potential in our team of, I think it was 3 people at the time, Kate and Lanto and I, and just a couple of researchers, and they said, we want to make this happen. We want to blow up the research. The word they used was a firestorm. They said, Salag is going to be a firestorm. It's going to start feeding itself. And unfortunately, I wanted to spend so much time with them afterwards figuring out what they were doing, because in a way, they actually started their own foundation at the time. We were the first grantee that was focused on sustainable nutrition. So we had all kinds of plans about touring around, getting a bunch of grantees on their side together, but none of that happened because of COVID. And so even though COVID allowed us to grow, we got some amazing COVID stimulus, we grew to the size that we are today, we kind of found ourselves in a position where we were realizing that the growth of New Harvest was really reliant on the hope that we would be able to secure something that would keep the momentum up. And I was very hopeful until just a little while ago when I noticed so many of the proposals that we were putting out were kind of met with, maybe, hit me up in a couple months, the market isn't good right now, or I'm not really giving right now because my investments are tied up, maybe not this time. And it was really seeing, certain emails from investor groups. I think even I don't know if you want to say, but I think even Lowercarbon was saying, we gotta back up some of the companies, make sure you can stretch your runway because we're looking into a recession right now. So lining up the end of a big donation with a recession is no good. And so we found ourselves in this position where we can't have New Harvest end on Halloween. Very scary. We have to at least stretch that into the end of year, that which I would say is truly the very least. We really need to secure a lot more time so we can switch up our fundraising strategy. I mean, our fundraising strategy has been very grassroots from the beginning. I mean, the first donors to New Harvest are people giving a few dollars out of their pockets every month, just like you, Kristin. A couple bigger donors, but really, we weren't a nonprofit that was founded with a giant benefactor. We weren't a nonprofit that was founded like alongside a university or a big foundation. We really were supported by so many people here in this room. So this moment is maybe the result of not having this conference for 2 years. You know, it's hard to rally support over Zooms and over the internet. But this is the moment where we really need to see how can we band together as a community and help New Harvest get to its next phase of growth. Not just survive, but actually become the thing that the field needs next. So I see a quizzical question.
No, I just wanted to, I think that's a very good starting point for us to have a discussion about, like, what's at stake? What's at stake here, and why, and what are we saving, and what are we looking forward to?
Yeah, what's at stake? I mean, there's so many layers to that question. Yeah. First, the layer that I'm not going to spend too much time on, but what's at stake if we don't pump cell ag up as New Harvest? I mean, so much. I can't even get into it because it'll take the whole 54 minutes. But what else is at stake? I mean, when we have a runway that only goes to October, that means we actually are not going to be in a position to fundraise in the long term. What's at stake is this might be our last conference ever unless we can secure title sponsors who want to adopt the conference and make it happen, preferably with like 3 years of commitment, saying this is an event that really matters for the space. Bringing everyone into this room really matters for the space. The safety project that we mentioned earlier, what's at stake if we don't open up market access in 8 different countries? A lot is at stake. And these are little projects that literally no one else can do. This is not the kind of thing that another group can come in and host a New Harvest conference. That's not going to happen. The safety project can't happen without us. I know Kim and the Vireo team are incredibly capable, but they don't have the community around them to open doors and talk to certain people the way that we can. What we're trying to make not at stake as much as possible is our fellows. Our fellows are the precious ruby that we are polishing all the time, and so we are going to try and dedicate as much of our funding towards making sure the fellows have as much security as possible. But so much is at stake, and at its worst, you know, we might have to get our team smaller, and I would hate to lose some of the people on my team. I really have come to love them so incredibly much. So, yeah, lots of things are at stake.
I think we've all come to love the whole New Harvest team a whole lot. Actually, can we just get the New Harvest team to, some of you are already standing, but can we get the New Harvest team to just stand up, and some of the New Harvest fellows maybe?
Yes.
And I just or all of the New Harvest fellows, anybody who's in here. Is anybody not? Oh, okay, here we go. Here they go. And let's just give a big round of applause for these folks.
I'd love to extend that to like anyone who's ever received money from New Harvest. Have you ever received funding from New Harvest? Yep, we got another one standing up. Couple more.
Yep.
Yeah, a couple more. How about standing up if you've ever been supported by New Harvest in a non-financial way? Is there something that New Harvest did that changed your trajectory in the field? Wow. How about stand up if one of the fellows or one of the other people standing has changed your trajectory in the field? What if one of the fellows wrote a paper that changed the trajectory of your research? Yeah.
There's another one.
And then lastly, stand up if the New Harvest Conference changed the trajectory of your career. Yes. If I had extra hands, I would clap.
I know. I'm trying. I'm doing my best.
Yeah, please take a seat.
I'm already standing, but I would be jumping up and down for most of these. So, yeah.
Wow, that was so cool to see.
Cool.
And then on the flip side, I'd actually love for you to stand up if you've contributed to New Harvest and made all of those things happen. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's awesome. That was very moving. So I think what I'm going to do next is just open up the floor for questions for me about, anything that you've heard just now. What do you want to hear more about? Yeah. Kim, we have a mic coming to you.
Oh yeah, folks, we'll have folks running microphones so that you don't have to yell. It'll be helpful.
That was very inspiring. This whole conference has been really inspiring. I hope the momentum keeps rolling after this. And I'm just wondering, at this point, I know it's been really challenging to raise money for New Harvest and the safety initiative. And I hope that we've convinced everyone that, collaboration is super important. And you are, and the New Harvest team has really been a convener and so important and all that to kind of make this happen. So my question is, okay, it's a recession, but are there other reasons? Why can we not get money for things like safety? Why can we not get money for other things that New Harvest does? What are your kind of thoughts on that? And again, as I mentioned, I do hope that the ball keeps rolling here, and we do see kind of the excitement here turn into dollars, and maybe to kind of start the ball rolling. I would like to just kind of reaffirm that Vireo Advisors would like to donate $2,500 to New Harvest and its initiatives, and I hope that encourages others to do so.
Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Vireo. But a great question about especially the safety project. When we did the safety project in 2020, it was the first time that we had kind of mobilized our connections with industry towards a public end. And there's one person, actually it was Romana from Meetable, who is their regulatory expert. When she saw that we gathered together 87 people from 50 companies to talk about basically their IP and how we could get on the same page about what the process for cultured meat production was, she called me, she's like, this is completely unprecedented. I've worked at Pepsi for 20 years or something like that, and I've never seen this level of collaboration. So the safety project was huge, and for us to kind of enter into this next phase of the safety project, which I think is just as huge, instead of aligning the companies, it's about aligning the regulators. It just hasn't been met with the same kind of support, and it honestly has always just come down to this is not the right time for the funding because I think our donor base is a little bit market affected. We haven't been able to transcend into the large foundations just yet. In addition to that, we did have some donors that were thinking, maybe the safety initiative should actually be supported by more companies. Maybe that's actually a great opportunity for the companies to band together to support safety. So we did send it out to several companies, but startups themselves are kind of faced with a similar recession issue. I mean, they're raising their bridge rounds. I guess you could call this a bridge round for New Harvest. So that's kind of the thing. But if anyone in the audience wants to support the safety initiative, I mean, that is a project that we wouldn't really want to lose Vireo when we're halfway through it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about an answer to this question, and the thing that keeps coming up for me is just this undercurrent right now in sort of I know that we're all tired of living. There's that meme that says, "I'm so tired of living through unprecedented times." Can we not be living in a historical moment for once, please? And I think this is a very particular moment, right? There's a petro-funded land war in Europe that is driving up the costs of everything from gutters, literally gutters. You can't get gutters for your house right now, look it up. But fertilizer, right? Interrupting and disrupting entire food systems. COVID just won't quit, killing people nor supply chains. Here in the United States, the Fed is raising rates, and the market has responded to all of this by basically base jumping off a cliff without a parachute. And so there's a lot of the traditional large, donations to organizations like New Harvest that are funded by the excess wealth of high net worth individuals. And when the market starts to shrink, I mean, for better or worse, this is where some of the funding starts to get interrupted. And so one of the things that I'm really eager to brainstorm with this group here is okay, well, that is a reality of the current situation that we're in. It's driven by fear and anxiety. I know that's fear and anxiety that a lot of us in this room share for different reasons and coming from different perspectives. So what are the things that we can do to sort of coordinate and either convince more people that, you know what, you still have that excess net worth and it's worth spending here, and or some other places that we can tap into for these collaborations. And I wonder if...
Yeah, I think another thing is as I mentioned earlier, we do need to change up our fundraising strategy to scale with our ambition.
Yeah.
And so that does require us focusing on things that are independent of the market. You know, government grants, working with universities more, working with high net worths that are like literally not affected by the market, or maybe even dictate what the market is doing. But that just takes time. And I think what this group can help with is extend that time so we can get there and make those relationships and make that happen. I mean, I am ultimately so confident that that's going to happen. It's just about making sure we have the engine intact.
Yes, I think so.
I'm just seeing some questions here. But if there are any questions in the audience, I would love to prioritize them just for the human touch. But one question is, how much does New Harvest need to meet its goals? So I get this question a lot because I get it from different people who have different capacities to give. So I will only put out our biggest goal, which is that we need $18.5 million over the next 4 years of work. And I know that may seem to a $5 donor like that is so ridiculous. What am I going to do for that? But the reason why we have to have the goal that big and for that long is because we take a lot of risk on when we fund research. Research is never 1 year at a time, even though fundraising can sometimes be 1 year at a time. So when we pick the awesome people that we fund, we're taking a risk and saying, we think that we can support that person for 3 years, even though we only kind of know what's going to happen in the next year. So I would just earmark that number to give you a sense of where we need to go, but acknowledge that literally $5 buys us more time to get to that amount. So no matter what the amount is, it's a drop in the bucket, but I mean, a full bucket is filled with many drops.
Yes.
So yeah, that's that answer.
Yeah. Does anyone? Oh,
George.
I see some questions popping up. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, George.
Hey,
Isha.
George.
It is on.
Yes.
We're a fairly small Australian startup that's raised not a massive amount of money, but Isha, the work that you've done so far has been really, really impactful to bring us closer into the industry, connect us with research, connect us with Vireo, who's made a really big impact on our reg strategy. To recognize that, I want to donate 20,000, but I want to call on the investors and the other companies in the room to match that.
Yes. Yes. Okay, cool. Okay, so 20,000.
It's like, wow, that's amazing.
Val. Thank you so much. I think that's bigger than our corporate donations. What's our highest tier right now of corporate? 15. So
wow.
Thanks for becoming our largest
George.
corporate donor overnight. I do think.
Thank you.
On that topic, I actually think we're going to earmark all of the corporate donations to the safety project. We already have that in the bank. Let's move it all into safety and just turn that into an industry-funded thing. So your 20,000 will go in there, and I can't do the math right now, but that makes it a lot more easy to figure out how we're going to fill in that gap. So thank you so much. You set a match. I'm curious if there are any companies or people who would want to match that. I love putting that out there. I realize that might be a crazy thing to do, off the cuff. Wow, Andras is going to match 5,000 of it. Awesome.
Okay. I will personally match 2,500.
Wow, okay, so 7,500 is matched, so
Right.
that's half of it. Okay, so Gabor is going to match his son, so 5 plus 5 is 10.
12 and a half. We're at 12 and a half.
12 and a half, so that means
Right.
we only have... Oh my gosh!
Wow. We just got 50K.
Wow. great. This is going better than I thought it was going to.
I know. I hope someone's like actually doing the math. 'Cause
I think there's still 2,500 to match on the vowel.
I think there's 7.5 to match on the vowel. If anybody, you know. Oh, Leggy. Oh, 10.
10. Wow. Wow. Is someone writing this down?
Yeah,
Someone
somebody's
writing
writing this down shortly.
Awesome. That is so wonderful. What about this 50,000 that I saw from Deborah? Changing hearts and my. Oh,
Well,
I guess there's no upvoting, but thank you so much, Deborah, wherever you are online somewhere. That is so huge. Would anyone want to match the 50,000 from Deborah?
yeah. Look, we're going to get there. Oh,
Yes!
we have a match. Holy shit.
Yes!
Woo!
Yes! Wow.
Holy shit.
That is crazy.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Thank you. Thank you. What do we do?
I'm speechless.
I think I might cry. Please, just, it's fine.
All right. So let's maybe move into a different thing for a few minutes. I'm curious if there. What? What?
Wait, but Walter, you didn't put your last name wherever you are. We need your last
What
name
did
to
it
find
say?
you. He said they work with a foundation that is trying to end factory farming for animal welfare and will give 100K. And yeah. Oh, through food system transformation, which we love. That's wild. I love that.
Would you match 100K?
Would you? Oh. Oh, it's not on. Oh, it's not
I think we need the mic on over there. This one? Oh, yeah, it's on.
Hello.
Hi.
So I think I know about the goal, so I'll just set the number that I have in my mind. So we'll put 500K for this year, and for the next 3, another 500K. So that's $1 million over the 4 years. So.
Wait.
Wow! Oh my gosh!
That's so amazing. Wait,
I don't even remember what the numbers were.
I don't.
I was just stunned.
Wait, we didn't even. Can we give you the microphone back? Will you tell us like a little bit?
I blacked.
Yeah.
No.
But tell us your name and your
Yeah.
connection and yeah.
So I'm Mirik Gogri. I know Isha from I think October 2020 during the pandemic. I reached out to her regarding again understanding, and I think I had a set of questions at that time. And at that time we started with a donation and we gave a 3-year commitment. And I think this sort of ends this year in the sense 2021 and 22. When I got to read the mail and I had some discussion, so I reached out to her that I have some number in my mind of how can we increase our commitment to that. Actually, that number was half of what we finally did, because I realized that it's a long-term commitment that you need to do, not just like right in here and right now. So that's why I think it's the limits of what we as a foundation can give. So that's why it's split into 2 phases. But I think the bigger one is 500K right now, which will really help you, because the hope is that the recession will in the end turn to a good momentum that you can do. But having said that, you will still have another runway over the next 3 years for 500K. And I've been really touched by the community here, as in it's my first conference of New Harvest. So it's a new experience for me, but I've been really touched by what is happening and how foundational role or an ecosystem accelerating role that this has been playing. So yeah, I think that's just about it. And
Wow. Mirik is in India, and he is with a very large chemical manufacturing business. And it's been really awesome getting to know him because he is really pumped about the philanthropy, but also is always trying to use the business to do the scale-up questions and think about how to scale things. So I would actually put a call out for any companies that are like interested in that type of stuff. If you want to work with someone who does know a lot about scale-up in bioreactors, please get in touch with Mirik. If you're interested about manufacturing in India, please get in touch with Mirik. And I think I'm speaking for you now, so tell me if anything seems inaccurate. But Mirik is really, really concerned about climate change. And we've been in touch over WhatsApp since we met in October or something. And to hear his journey of like going to COP and saying, stuff's not moving fast enough, I want to dedicate so much more to this movement, and for us to also like find a donor who's like really pumped about the climate aspects of CELAC has been just so moving. So anyway, I just wanted to really thank you, and thank you for what you're doing, and hopefully we can be helpful in the growth of your fund and work in the long term.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So while we're still on the topic of donations, we've gotten this question a couple of times, which is people asking, how can they donate online? Is there a way to do that?
Yeah, maybe Mira, could you post the link on Slido? Is that a good idea? www.new-harvest.org. The donate button is right on the front page, so that's how you can find it. And even though we're like in the upper tiers of numbers right now, if someone called out that they were going to give $5, I would be just as pumped and shed just as much of a tear, because that's all relative. It's all relative to all of you and your capacity to give. So I don't want to feel like that. I mean, that accelerated so much more quickly than I was ever anticipating, that I don't actually know where we go from here right now. But I actually did want to open the floor up to anyone who wanted to propose other stuff. Giving through dollars is one way, but are there any other? Oh, here we go. Oh, we're just going to wait to get your mic on.
So in terms of not offering...
Oh, what the... Oh, that's awesome.
Amazing.
Yes. Yes. I had a chance to get some dinner with Abdul and co recently, and so one thing that's hard for me is a lot of people are like, New Harvest needs an income stream, but I don't actually think, I maybe yes, but I don't really want to compromise on all of our neutrality. So it's cool to meet some people on the business side that value that and then want to figure out how can we work alongside that. So thank you so much, Abdul. That means so much. Over here. And then we have another one in the back there after.
So there are 3 ways that we can help. I'm not anymore in the business, I'm in the academics. So depending on the size of your safety study and dollar-wise, I don't know that number, so can you share how much money is looking for?
Yeah, so Steph, how much money do we need for the safety project? So I think it was like 250 something minus 70 something minus 20 something. 165.
I'm from Purdue, and I will put about $50,000 towards your safety study. We have resources. That means I have resources at Purdue to do that. That is number one. The second.
Yes. Let's clap.
before coming to this conference, always from the website, I felt this is an investment firm because I work with the investment companies, and it almost felt like that. But I was just moved with the education impact. I felt, as you rightly said, the gems are students. And to carry this over the bridge right now, I will be happy to support 2 of the New Harvest Fellows.
Wow.
Wow.
Whoa. Wow.
And now, if you, as you will know, the cost of per year one student is about $60,000. So
Yep.
you're looking at in excess, adding 50 plus 100, you're talking 150 now, plus. Now the last is that I'm also moved with the passion and the excitement that I'm just experiencing right now, that I would like to pledge about $20,000, a competition prize for students to make cell ag meat, and 6 months from now, we'll be demonstrating and tasting. This is a $20,000 prize. Students can compete, can make teams, schools can partner, but this is a competition. Only there are few requirements, and one of them, that X% of that cell ag meat need to be soybean, because I come from soybean country, Indiana. And I got to be loyal to my farmers.
Yes.
And with that being said, and we will have some requests, but more importantly, I would like to partner with New Harvest for this competition, so it can be between New Harvest and Purdue. And others are most welcome to join. But this would be competition just for students to make cell ag meat. Thank you.
Wow. I have some questions. I have some questions. So the prize is $20,000. The people competing are the fellows or any researcher? And do they receive any budget in order to compete? We don't know that yet.
We don't know. Okay, we'll work it out, though.
Information.
Yeah.
And then they'll be generating samples, and then those samples will be tasted. Oh, and the samples have to include soy. Okay, we'll figure something out. I'm sure we'll figure something out. We had our fellows retreat these past 2 days, and we had a fellow talking about soy scaffolds. I don't know if I could see Alexis somewhere, but yeah, there you are. So that's very intriguing, and we'll absolutely follow up with that. And thank you so much for your generosity and all 3, 4, 5 things that you put out there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, we have one here, and then we have Andras in the front after that.
Yeah, can we really quickly can we have folks tell people in the room, give us your name when you start, and tell us. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's AJ.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Steve Winiger with McWin. We're a food tech fund, and I wish I were high enough on the totem pole to commit anything. If I did, it would definitely get added to my mortgage. So an idea that I had for a revenue stream that I don't believe would compromise your independence is I think that there's a real dearth of knowledge on the technical side in the investor base. And I think that we've talked at some point about kind of a technical consultant or analyst network. And I think that there's something to that. And separately, I think that there'd be a lot of people in the investment community that would be willing to pay for some classes on things as simple as bioreactor literacy, cell culture media, just courses that we could learn a little bit more through, so that when we're sitting and listening to a pitch, we can ask better questions, we can dive deeper, we can understand at a deeper level what's being discussed. So, hopefully that's not as exciting as all of these amazing numbers that are coming out, but an idea.
No, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
That's very exciting. It's exciting because our fellows I think I mentioned that yesterday, but our fellows even suggested this idea of like, how can we help with the due diligence stuff? Yeah. They want the experience. Mm-hmm. They want to figure out how they can get more in touch with companies. And they also want to figure out how they can band together in little micro groups or whatever to figure things out. So that's not a dollar amount, but that maybe is an idea that creates dollars in a longer way. So that's cool. Thank you so much, Steve. Yeah.
And that in tandem with the sort of the techno-economic analysis and road mapping that we talked about, those in combo, that collaboration sounds really cool to me. Also, you should talk to Kate Kruger.
Absolutely.
If you haven't yet.
Yes. Sorry.
Oh no.
Some of you may know Michael Seeley. So
Yes.
Michael and I, literally last week, just got funded by NIST, Department of Commerce, for exactly doing techno-economic road mapping, along with FAR, a Foundation for Farm and Agriculture. So we'll be happy to partner. Yadira and you all are already attending, but we will be happy to discuss more. So your road mapping would be happy to be.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Yes. Andres had his hand up.
Sure. First of all, a shout out for Alice for $25. So
Yes!
keep it all going, everybody.
Yes!
Okay. Every donation counts. So I'm Andres Forgax. I'm on the board of New Harvest, Fork and Good, and Modern Meadow. And one of the things that I find very inspiring about this community is just how much it's grown and expanded over the years. There are now over 100 different companies that are in the cell ag space. And if you add the world of materials to it, I think it's many dozens more, right? And yesterday was a pretty spontaneous exercise, I think,
Yes.
of auctioning off the tours,
Yes.
right, to Wild Type and to Wow, all right?
Yep.
But if you take the 100+ companies and you multiply it by the going rate for a tour, which was about, what, $5,000 yesterday, that should be about $500,000, right?
Yes.
So what I would do is I would encourage everyone in this room who's affiliated with or runs a company, it's table stakes. Everyone should be making an in-kind donation of hosting a tour and a tasting so that you can share the magic of what you're doing. And that should be auctioned off, and perhaps not spontaneously here, because otherwise we'll completely tap out this audience. But with more intention, a bit more lead time, I think it should be the exception that you're not hosting a tour, that you're not opening up to visitors, and using that as a way to make an in-kind contribution to New Harvest. So where are you, Nia? Would you be open to a tour of Fork and Good in the New Jersey City facility? Yeah?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah,
Yes.
we'll go broader to get higher
Yep.
price, and I think we'll do the same for Modern Meadow as well. So and multiply that by 100. Okay, so
Yes.
let's make sure that we bring at least $500,000 in to New Harvest through that. Okay, and open up the community.
Thank you. All right. A tour of Fork and Good, a tour of Modern Meadow, maybe some Modern Meadow products.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Oh.
Tastings of our materials.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure out the logistics. I agree. We're going to keep the auctioning as a special moment that happened. I already had one person say, "You auctioned Perfect Day ice cream whatever number of years ago," so I guess it technically wasn't the first time we auctioned. I forgot. But yes, I think that's absolutely true. I think even that going rate of 5,000. I mean, at our end of year fundraising, when so many people are giving, we could just tie that to a known tier. This X dollars and up, you get a tasting of your choice. So that's awesome. Awesome idea. I don't know why it didn't come to me. I think it's because I'm so used to there being no companies in the field. That's great. Thank you. Oh, I have one more hand. Bianca.
Hi. I think it's very clear from these past 2 days that New Harvest have been critical for supporting scientists, companies, VCs, accelerators. But I just want to mention that you guys have been critical for supporting other nonprofits, specifically quote-unquote competing nonprofits. So I founded Cellular Agriculture Australia a few years ago and reached out, and Mira connected me with Isha. And on day one, in our very first call, Isha introduced me to her own donors and connected me with other philanthropists. And that is just not a thing that other nonprofits do. And since then, we've built a whole community of other nonprofits, this International CELAG Nonprofit Consortium, and we've got some of the other groups in this space. We've got CELAG Canada, CELAG Greece, we also have CELAG Germany, France, Japan, and it was all because of you guys, and that ethos of transparency and openness is just so core to everything you do, and I just really appreciate that. I've since moved to a industry position at Mission Barnes, so I also just want to pledge 2 tastings. We've got a 3-course tasting, our Italian meatball, a chorizo sausage, and our bacon in a BLT. So we've got 2 of those, but also just want to extend to any fellow who comes to SF, you're always welcome for a tour and a tasting.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bianca. That means so much, Bianca. And yes, there are a lot of nonprofits that we need in this space. The other day, someone here asked me, you know, we made this report on what the size of the opportunity is. One of us has to track this thing.
Oh my Lord.
What the size of the opportunity is in Canada, and there's like a big government report on that. And someone asked me, can you do this for Spain? Can you do this for this country? Can you do this for X country? So yeah, this is what all these little nonprofits can do, is they can have a really outsized impact where they are if we can really empower them. So that's so great. And thank you so much for those tastings. We'll put them to good use. Yeah.
And shout out to, we just saw on the screen, speaking of monitoring the screen, Katya, I don't know where you are. Yes, we'll up annual donation to $1,000 per year.
Wow.
No.
I saw Andrew giving too. I saw a donation from Andrew as well, a monthly one, earlier. Thank you so much. So I didn't think it was going to go that way. I actually maybe want to backtrack a little bit to see if people wanted to share other things about New Harvest or New Harvest stories. Like, it doesn't all have to be giving. I think there's a lot of people here who have also been impacted by New Harvest. So if you just want to stand up and be part of the town hall, share something, I really want to open it up. I love those ideas like this consulting network too, you know, really
and
anything.
even personal anecdotes or feelings. I mean, you know, I'm having a lot of feelings up here, so if anyone wants to share some.
Hey.
Hi, so my name is Nate Erskine-Smith, and I would just say, as it relates to New Harvest, and you know this, Isha, but we are both Canadians, and so I value Isha's leadership, but I'm sympathetic for other reasons as well. But I have followed New Harvest since I was an undergraduate student in, 2004, 2005, and I'm now, since then, elected 3 times in Canada as a member of Parliament, and of course in my advocacy, I certainly want to see more government funding for CELAG, and so if not for New Harvest, I would not have known this even existed. I would not have followed it for many years, and I would not be an advocate certainly for it today in the Canadian context. So thank you for that. And then I have a question, which is, thank you for all the philanthropy, but governments are not stepping up in a serious way in a way that they should. And if you could speak to the sustained need for government support and how a public dollar should make a difference when private sector dollars are playing a certain role, what role should public dollars play?
Yeah, I mean, we need lots and lots of money from governments, in any governments supporting research that, I think we set such a great model with the fellowship of how things that actually seem surprising can be incredibly impactful in the field. So basic research, those open questions that no company would investigate on their own, can have incredible impact in an industry that is desperate for those papers. I mean, in terms of things that government can fund, when was the last time the government knew that if they invested in something, that research would be used tomorrow by 100 companies around the world? I mean, it's very outsized impact from a government perspective. And then if you just think about the jobs alone, if you think how many people have been boosting CELAG, hasn't been very many, but even just from New Harvest Network, I think we've seen at least 1,000 jobs be created across different companies that have been founded from our network, different founders that have come out of either being on our team or being interns or being grantees and so on. That's an explosion of jobs overnight. And I think that each one of those companies is looking for more people to hire too. I mean, there's kind of like an upper limit on that talent pipeline. So that's another thing government can fund is how do we train up the talent so they can feed right into industry tomorrow, because that need is absolutely there. So great questions. And I need to brainstorm with you as a member of parliament on how we can be more visible, or like how we can tell a story that's going to be compelling. Because that's really what we need to secure, is like a 10-year Sinberg style thing of like the center of where Salag lives. So thank you. Any more from this audience? Can I keep asking?
Yes.
Stuff keeps coming out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks. I just want to say, Isha and the entire New Harvest team has been extremely supportive of the different things that we've done. Any idea that we have gone to New Harvest with, they've been super supportive. In fact, we didn't create a Twitter. We created a Twitter account for the podcast at New Harvest 2018 because Isha asked us to create a live stream for it, and since then, it's just been something that has allowed us to run so many different types of media, programs, and events. And if it wasn't for New Harvest and Isha and the team, we would not have done that. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex. Do you want to actually share what you work on? Just so everyone knows
Yes,
your name.
My name is Alex, and I work with Anita and a few others. And we have a podcast called the Culture, Meat, and Future Food Podcast. And there is a special series with the New Harvest Fellows that you can check out. It's at futurefoodshow.com. We also host a conference called the Cultured Meat Symposium and do a couple other things. But thank you to New Harvest.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
We have another.
Yes. John.
Hi, I'm John, PhD student.
Stand. Yes.
I wanted to share a story. So, since I don't have income withholding, I was doing my taxes last. I hope this is not crass. I was doing my taxes last year, last day of tax day on the deadline. And my tax burden was, or I looked at the amount I had to pay in tax, no withholding. But I donated $25 to New Harvest in the last year. And then at that final calculation, it was my tax burden for 38,000 stipend was $4,000 US. But it was $4,000 US minus 25. So the amount I donated actually reduced my tax burden at the end of the year.
Yes.
So thus, it was 1-to-1, and I looked up online, it's up to your adjusted gross income. So thus, I'll be doing 1,000 per year for the foreseeable future.
Yes. Woo! Yes. We just saw a philanthropist be born today. Follow the logic, but yeah, John is actually one of our research fellows. We met him in the Tufts lab, and I never expect the fellows to give back because I know the math. Don't think about it too much, how it works. I really appreciate you sharing that story and kind of walking through the logic of it, because not everyone knows that giving is like that in this country. You actually do get a lot of benefits out of it, and thank you so much for that commitment. It means so much, John. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, more and more.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I don't exactly have a bunch of money to donate like John. I am also a fellow, but I have at a point in the past done some portraits and artwork using auger art for New Harvest, and I would like to offer an opportunity to create some auger art for someone here who's willing to donate. I don't know if we can auction that or how you want to go about that, but yeah, if anybody's interested, let's make that happen. I would love to facilitate that if I can.
I love that. Thank you so much, Sam.
Thank you.
And sorry, what kind of art?
Auger art.
What is otter art?
Auger, agar.
Oh, auger.
Yeah.
I was like, otters.
Otters. He could do an auger art of otters, if that's what you're interested in.
Yeah.
If that's what the
I think it's possible.
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
That's awesome.
I've got access to some special strains, so.
Don't strain yourself. We
That was
have
pretty
someone over here. Oh, or
we've got
someone
a couple
else over
I
here
think,
too.
Yeah.
Here, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Is it me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, hi, I'm Emily. I don't have anything to pledge. This was just more like a genuine question. This is my first time really hearing about cell agriculture, but I'm very into like the circular economy, zero waste movement. And I've heard so much about the product and the things we're creating, but not necessarily like the future of packaging it. And I was just kind of curious for like, are people developing new things to package this like new fancy meat that is like the food of the future? Is it still going to be covered in microplastics and like other things we do not want?
I don't know.
I can answer that. Yeah, that's
The next conference,
well, there
yeah.
was actually a conference, same place 2 days ago, called Biofabricate. So I would look them up, but the question is around yes. There's just yes. Bioplastics are becoming a thing, and compostable packaging, and there are a lot of people adjacent to this space that are fans of this space that are working on those things too. And I think there's some future collabs maybe in the works.
Yeah, I'm also, I mean, you said this is your first time hearing
Yeah.
about cell. I'm actually really curious why, like how.
Yeah,
You're one
how'd
of the few people who put your hands up whose name I don't know, like whose face I don't know by name. I'd love to actually hear how you got here. And welcome. Yes.
Yes. I'm a PhD student at UT, and I do a lot more like math, disease modeling, and things like that. So I don't actually work much in that, but I do population genetics. And my friend here said this was a very cool conference, and we should go, because she has been once before, and I was just kind of like different science. So that's kind of why I came, was it?
Amazing. That's awesome. Oh, yes, please.
I probably told this story to several people, but yes, we do not do any cell-cultured meat research, but I came in 2019 because I was about to apply to grad school, and I was really just like trying to get feelers out for like what is the next thing that's going to actually like change the planet, like not just, you know, another sort of, I don't know, kind of like somebody said before, passing fad. I really wanted to find like the thing that was going to be the most impactful use of my time. And from that conference, I just met so many people who are working at so many different parts of science, you know, engineering, like, you know, business development, like machine learning, and it actually really did change the trajectory of like my PhD research, because I always kept New Harvest in mind. I was like, I want to be ready for the time when I graduate. I'm like, you know, gonna actually have a use in this space, even if it's not in tissue culture, in like she said, math modeling, machine learning. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Leslie Butani, and I've been at the conference before. I've been an investor in New Harvest for a number of years. And when I came to my first conference in 2018, I met a lot of people who have venture capital companies that I have since invested with. I will continue to share the rewards that I have reaped from that with you, but also I'm going to ask all of those companies to, you know, help to support you, because they are absolutely benefiting from the knowledge that gets shared here. So there, one of them is SOSV. I don't know.
Yes,
a lot of
absolutely.
you probably know.
Yes.
Another is Stray Dog. I think somebody's here from Stray Dog right now.
Oh, there's Stephanie.
I need to connect with you. And another is Citi, SIDDHI Capital. So yeah, so I'm going to make sure they're all involved with making sure this continues. All right.
Thank you so much, Leslie.
See, this is how it actually happens. When your LPs tell you to do something, you do it. That's how that works.
Oh.
Yeah.
So then what other LPs in the room do I need to convince to do something? Because I think that has been a little bit of a gap for us. I mean, we do so directly bring value to the field, and I'd love to figure out how we should engage investors. Like, what is the relationship that we can plant with investors? Oh, I have someone over there.
Hi Hi, I'm Irfan, PhD student at University
Rachel.
of Vermont. I just wanted to answer Emily's question because I feel like no one really answered her question when she asked that what's going to happen with packaging in the future.
Yes.
So I think that sustainability is really at like the core of like a lot of the cell egg products and cellular agriculture stuff that's happening. And the reason why I think that is a couple months ago for one of our club events at my university, so I'm also the president of the UVM Cellular Agriculture Club, we collaborated with Brave Robot, who sent me 100 pints of ice cream at my house, which was pretty awesome to give away and initiate conversations about cellular agriculture. And the ice cream was packaged in extremely sustainable materials made out of corn that I could just dissolve in water. So that was like really cool to see. So I feel like in the future, hopefully we'll be able to find some packaging solutions as well. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Irfan. That's great. Oh, we have someone over here.
Hi, Isha. Hi, everyone.
Jeremy.
Hi.
Nice to meet you all. I'm Jeremy. I learned about New Harvest through one NGO that didn't convince me about cell agriculture. But New Harvest, particularly Isha's speeches, have really pushed me and changed my career trajectory completely. Been able to live in Chicago, New York City, here we are. And now I'm working with Lab Farm Foods, an early stage food startup, cultured meat company. And we would like to donate some of our cell lines to your fellows. And I'd really love to talk with them and try to cater to each of them to try to uplift their work. And I hope, I'm so happy for everyone that can be part of this. And the spiritual,
That's awesome.
physical.
That is very
Yes,
cool.
the cell lines.
I think we have one more in the.
Thank you for, I just wanted to call out that donating the cell, that's IP that has value. Cell lines take time to make. I don't know how much a cell line normally costs to buy, but I don't think it's nothing.
No.
So thank you so much. That's huge. Oh, I have.
Hi everyone, I'm Sophie. I'm a recent MBA grad, so not a PhD, but my recommendation is that we look into partnerships where industry startups actually host the PhD students. This is common in Germany. And they get to direct the research, but it's all open and public.
Yes, I love that. I actually think that's a very natural progression of the fellowship. Someone earlier today was talking about how could industry support a fellow and then have them intern right after. That seems like a really obvious next step. So thank you for putting that wisdom out there. I think that's something we'd absolutely love to follow up on. I see a hand over there too. We only have 3 minutes. Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'll make this quick.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, Matt from Future Fields here. So I mentioned at the start of my talk earlier today, like how big of an impact New Harvest has had on my career. Getting my start at the conference in 2017. They went on to fund a little project of mine while I was doing my grad studies. So in a lot of ways, Isha and the rest of the New Harvest team have been really, really impactful on my career. And Future Fields, we're a startup. We're not super well funded either. And so I'm sitting back here, tears streaming down my face. This was truly one of the most beautiful moments I've experienced. And racking my brain, trying to think of how we can help out too, because we're not super well funded, obviously. And I ran this idea by Chris yesterday, and he was kind of like, I don't know. And I just whispered to Jolene, and she's like, I don't know, maybe it's a bit gimmicky, and I apologize if it does, but fuck it, I don't give a shit. If it does come across this way. We do sell products. We do get a little bit of revenue coming in. So Future Fields is going to donate all of our revenue for, I don't know, we'll figure it out the next couple months to New Harvest. So.
Wow. Whoa.
Holy
That's
shit.
so That's crazy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad about that being gimmicky if I was working on the
I know. I'm like, what?
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Matt. That's and Jaylene and Chris. That's so cool. How many companies even have products on the market to sell? and for that to come back to New Harvest right away, like, wow. Thank you.
That's incredible.
Vicky.
Hi everyone, I'm Vicky. I'm working at Mozambique in the Netherlands, and recently we had a huge investment of Leonardo DiCaprio, and that made me think that there's actually a lot of wealthy people with a lot of money who actually care. So I don't know how this works in America, but isn't it just possible to like organize a fundraiser or something and get like all the wealthy people who care in there, and then just, I mean, if we're raising so much money here already, can you imagine? How do
So are you suggesting that Moza organizes an event
Well,
with
I would love
Moza's
to.
contacts where we can do this again?
I think it should be in America, though.
Well, Moza can host it wherever Moza wants, but
Okay. I will definitely
Yes, let's
discuss.
brainstorm on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
cool.
love that.
That's
Thank you.
amazing. Thank you.
Great. Great.
Isha,
Yes.
how are you feeling?
I don't know.
You don't even know?
Oh, there's one more
there's
person
one
over
more.
here.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Hi, sorry, this is going to be quick as well. We were at New Harvest in 2019. By the way, I'm Reka. I'm from Multus. Many of you know we are creating serum-free growth media for cultivated meat. And we started in 2019, and we got invited to be at New Harvest 2019, which was a really huge step for us. And that was the time when we really saw that there is a huge need for a serum-free growth media in the market. So now we have a market, we have a product on the market since February, and in the sort of, now that everybody is giving away and pledging, I would like to offer everybody who is in the room and haven't tried our product, Proliferum M, to try for free, and we're happy to send you, so just get in touch.
Awesome. Free media samples. Yes.
We love media.
For everyone in the room, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow. I'm just so stunned, I actually don't know what else. Oh.
Do we have
I
one? Can we-
kind of want to keep, I mean.
Yeah, can we do one more?
It's free
Come on.
stuff.
Yeah. Can we do? It's like, what are we doing?
I want to keep it going.
It's your conference,
It's not
Isha.
the media is for everyone. The
Yeah.
media is for everyone.
Yes, glad you're here. I was thinking about it and thinking about who might be listening on the live stream. Too close to the speaker. Following up on Nathaniel's comment, I get a lot of comments from enterprises looking at stuff like safety and regulatory, the projects that New Harvest is involved in, and they'll tell me, oh, it would be great if that happened. But they never take that extra step of actually helping that happen. So to anyone that is in one of those enterprises, I would actually encourage them to actually actively look for either to fund the projects or also look at the grants. I'm only familiar with the Canadian system, which is why I bring this up. So it'd be great if US enterprises that are familiar with the granting framework here actually helped New Harvest get those to execute the work, since it's a small team and it's a lot of effort to do that.
Well said. Thank you.
Well said, Leggy.
Great
Thank
idea.
you.
Yep. Great. So I don't actually. So I am gonna end it here because we can't keep that energy up for so.
I mean, we can try.
Yeah, we can try. But I hope. I mean, thank you so much, everybody here. Thank you to all the people who have given something. Thank you all to all the people who paid a ticket price to come here. All the people who are on the live stream. I mean, this energy of giving actually comes from all the warm bodies in the room. So I don't think those donations would have been made if it weren't for all of you here today. I also want to thank all the sponsors. I know there's like a proper list somewhere, but I really just want to thank all of the sponsors for making this happen too. This was the conference that has brought in the most for New Harvest, and we need to figure out like how we can do the math to really make sure this happens again. But you know, we still have numbers to crunch. But thank you so much for being here. I think we're gonna move over to the next talk, the last talk, which is gonna be just as exciting. But
He's like, no.
I actually wanted to. I wanted to put one person on the spot here, who is Cameron. I was wondering, Cameron, if you wanted to share the news that you shared with me earlier today. Since we have, a very esteemed professor in CellAg presenting after me, I would love to share if you could share what you heard this morning.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Cameron. I had the privilege of being accepted to the New Harvest Fellowship Program a couple of years ago after following CellAg, as a kind of fan and interested party. And my participation in the fellowship program really had a massive impact on my career, and it opened up the door for me for a desire for maybe a career in academia. So this morning I just received an offer for a tenure track position, so I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to take it, but it's... The reason why I shared with Isha is because none of this would have been possible without New Harvest. In my research proposal, when I apply for these jobs, CellAg is a major aspect of that. So I would just say to anyone who is maybe considering investing, the absolute worst case scenario is you get a bunch of highly trained people who can facilitate the bioeconomy in many ways, but it's having impacts on both industry and academia, and thank you to Isha and all the New Harvest staff for everything that they've done for me, and I can't think of a better place to donate to advance the field, so thanks so much to Isha and New Harvest.
Thanks, Cameron. We all made a prof. We made a prof. That was the dream of the who knew it was going to happen? Anyway, I'm gonna.
I think we all had faith in Datar.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Seriously, no. You guys have to actually yell for Isha right now. I'm sorry. We have to keep going. Thank you.